Namaste, Yinsters, and welcome. My name is Kimberley Roberts, and I am the founder and creator of SolefulYin, a unique blend of reflexology and Yin Yoga practices and treatments to heal the soul. This little sequence that we're going to do is a great sequence to do if you've been sitting a lot all day. It's a short one, only consists of a couple of postures, but yet it is really effective. We're not going to be holding for very long, anywhere from about 2 to 3 minutes. But it's a great way to open up the chest and to release the hips and the inner groin and the low back, especially if you've been sitting at the desk all day long. What you're going to need for your practice is a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks, you can use some rolled up thick blankets, although I highly recommend investing in a couple of blocks. I will show a variation to work with if you don't have the blocks and you're only working with some blankets. Okay, so what we're going to be working on today is we're going to start with supported fish pose, and that's supposed to open up the front body. So again, if you've been at the desk or you've been driving all day and you've been kind of hunched over at the computer, this allows your chest to open, so it counterbalances all that tension that gets created in the front body. The other thing that this posture is great for is inviting that nice, deep parasympathetic nervous system state. Okay, so that allowing of that deeper breath in and the longer breath out. And not only is that soothing and calming to your nervous system, it's also really important in terms of the musculoskeletal system. So the chest muscles and the diaphragm muscles, they get super short and tight, and even the little intercostal muscles that sit between the ribs, they all get really, really tight when we sit and we hunch like this and when our breath is really short. So when you're in this posture and you're opening up your chest, it's an opportunity for you not just to release physically, but to invite that deeper breath, but also to release and let the heart open and let the emotional stuff come up to the surface and to let it go. Okay? If you're been grieving or there's been a lot of sadness or a lot of depression recently in your life, this is a great pose that you can come to at any time you need to let your heart open up. The other thing that this posture is great for is if you are looking to invite love and compassion into yourself and into your life, then you need to open up your heart. And this pose is a great way to do that. Okay, so we're going to start. You're going to grab your blocks. And I recommend using 2 blocks for this posture. So the one block is going to be at this angle here, and that's going to be towards the top of your mat. You're going to be resting your head on this one. The second block is the one that goes between your shoulder blades. So it doesn't rest on your low back, and it certainly doesn't rest on your neck. Okay, it's right between the shoulder blades. Okay, for women, it's just above the bra line if you want to take that measurement. Okay, the block can go a couple of different ways. If you're super tight, the block goes on its lowest end. If you're a little bit more open, your block can go at this height. I personally prefer to have my block at the low end, and I actually like to place the long end of my block so that it is parallel with the long end of my mat. Okay? You can also place your block the other way so that it's running vertically with the length of your mat, okay? For me, because my torso is a little bit shorter, I find that this variation here of placing it so that it sits right between my shoulder blades really allows me to open up my heart. If you don't have the blocks, then you are going to be using blankets. Okay, so one you're definitely going to need to fold up to put behind your head. And the other one is going to rest between, again, the shoulder blades, but you're going to run it parallel, again, with your mat, okay? And you're going to be resting back on that. If your blankets are very thin and they don't have a lot of weight to them, then you might need to use a couple of them so that when you come into the pose, you're not just sinking right down to the floor, okay? Because you do want your chest to open up. So grab your props, get them into place, and then you're going to come and you're going to be sitting on your bum. Okay, start with your knees bent, and you're going to slowly start to come down towards the floor so that you're taking your block, the first one, and you're putting it right between the shoulder blades. Okay, and then the other block goes right underneath your head. Arms, if you're super tight, this might be plenty, having them just resting beside your hips. You may want to take them out wide at your shoulder height to get a little bit of a deeper opening. Now, what you do with your legs, that's entirely up to you. Any low back issues, you're keeping your knees bent, your feet on the floor. Okay? If you want an opening through the inner thighs and the groin, you can come into butterfly legs. Bring the soles of your feet together and open up your knees wide. And you can prop underneath here too if you need to. If the low back's okay, you may want to just extend your legs all the way out. Okay, so lots of different options here. You're going to choose what works best for you. And then once you've got everything in place and you're pretty comfy there, you're going to close your eyes. And you're going to come into your breath. So you're going to invite a nice long deep breath in. And you're going to take longer, deeper breaths out. Okay, you're really focusing on invoking that parasympathetic nervous system state. Okay, so that rest and repair state. Now, when this posture is held for a long period of time, it can be quite energizing. So if you wake up in the morning and you find yourself quite depleted and you need a boost, this is great. You could hold it for a good 5 to 7 minutes. If you're doing this at the end of your day, then I recommend a shorter hold. So 2-3 minutes max. Okay, so it's not too energizing. It's enough to stimulate and open up the front body, but you don't want to be wired and full of energy when you're trying to get calm and grounded and ready for bed. As much as you can, try to invoke a 3-part breath so that you're inhaling for a count of 1, 2, 3, and that breath is slowly filling up belly, chest, heart center. And then as you exhale, you're emptying out the chest and the heart, softening and then letting go of the belly. Keep your arms really soft, no matter where you are in terms of your opening through your chest. Invite your heart center to shine and just project all of that love that you have within you outwards. And then ask for that to come back to you. If you're dealing with any grief or sadness, really stay in this pose as much as you can and do it as often as you can so that all of that emotional dis-ease that's stored in your heart center can come up and it can release so that you can come back to being happy and healthy and at peace and truly in love with who you are and where you're at in your life. And we have about another 35 seconds here. So you're going to take a few more breaths with, again, that focus on exhaling more deeply each and every exhale that you take. Just feel the back of your heart sinking down in towards your blocks. And getting a sense of feeling that you are truly letting go of what no longer serves you. Not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. Wherever you are in your breath cycle, just slowly empty out all your breath. And then take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, offer it out your mouth. Now to come out of the pose, what I recommend is if your legs are straight or you're in butterfly legs, you're going to place your feet back on the floor. Your knees are bent. Walk your feet a little closer in towards your hips. Now you're going to bring your arms down by your side and you're going to slowly start to roll off of your blocks towards your right side, using your hands as brakes and using that right arm as a pillow so that when you roll over, you roll into a fetal type position. Your knees are bent, your head is resting on your right arm. Okay, take a couple of nice long breaths there. And then you're going to slowly press into the palm of your left hand and slowly lift yourself back up. Take your props off to the side and we're going to come into happy baby pose. This is a great pose again if you've been sitting at the desk all day long to open up the low back, inner and outer thighs. We'll be coming down on towards the floor. So turning to the side of your mat, come on down onto your back. And hug your knees in towards your chest. Okay, so the first option, especially if you're really tight, you can just open up the knees wide. Keep your toes together and your hands resting either on your shins or maybe even underneath your knees. Okay, for some people, this might be plenty right here. You might get enough stimulation. If you want a little bit more, you're going to shoot the feet up towards the sky. Keep your knees bent. And then you're grabbing hold on the inside of your thighs, somewhere along either the feet, ankles, shins. What you don't want is you don't want to be lifting yourself up to grab hold of your feet, but you also don't want to be grabbing your feet and your pelvis lifting up to the sky. So you want to keep your tailbone grounded down towards the floor. So if that means your hands come closer in, then that's fine. Keep a little flexion in the feet, and from here you can either just stay straight or you can rock it out a little bit from side to side, just like a happy baby does. Really try to keep your shoulders and your head on the floor, okay? This is not an abdominal stimulating pose, okay? We're not looking to strengthen here, we're looking to relax. Close your eyes. And you're going to focus on taking nice, long, deep breaths in and out through your nose. I like to rock in this pose because it's also a nice little added massage for my low back. And if I've been sitting all day doing reflexology treatments, I do tend to get some compression in my low back, so this offers a nice release there. Plus, it's a great way to release your inner thighs as well, which is another area that tends to get quite tight, and then it affects the hips too, and the hip flexors shorten up. If you're finding that your jaw is getting a little stimulated and tight, consciously let it go. Invite some space between the upper and lower teeth. Let your tongue release down from the roof of your mouth. Relax through the back of your neck. Relax and soften your belly. And invoke that deep, long exhalation. Again, you're getting into that parasympathetic state, that rest and repair, that rest and heal state. This is the only place where we heal. And the practice of Yin Yoga invites us to heal. It invites us to heal physically, emotionally, energetically, and mentally. It is a practice that is far more than just a physical stretch of connective tissue and fascia. It truly is a practice of releasing what no longer serves you. And we've got about 2 more really nice long deep breaths here. And wherever you are in your breath cycle, empty out the breath completely. And then take a deep breath in through the nose. And then offer it out the mouth. Let it go. If you're in the full expression of happy baby, you're going to start to release your hands and very carefully use your hands to draw your knees together in towards your chest. Rock it out a little bit from side to side. And then place the feet back down towards the earth. Roll over onto your left side, your yin side of the body. Use your left arm as a support for your head. Draw the knees in a little bit closer just to help release that low back. And take a deep breath in. And take a long breath out. Using your right palm, you're going to slowly lift yourself back up. And make your way into a comfortable seated position. Place the palms of your hands together in front of your heart center. As you take a moment to lengthen up your spine, close your eyes, drop your chin down towards your chest. Offer a moment of gratitude for your practice, for what your body gave you, and for what it released. Ariom Tatsa, which means that's it, that's all. From the light in me to the light in you, Namaste.